Hi kids, good evening. Today I have a new story for you from the series My Tiny Tales. And the story name today is The Good Dinosaur. Do you remember Arlo? Before we start reading the story, please do not forget to subscribe in the channel, like the video and share it with your friends. And now, let the story begin. Henry and Ida were farmers. The two dinosaurs lived at the base of Clotooth Mountain. Soon they would have a family. Henry and Ida eagerly watched as their eggs began to hatch. Inside the biggest egg was a tiny dinosaur too afraid to come out. It was Arlo. Papa introduced the awestruck young dinosaurs to the world. Papa and Mama put their footprints on the family silo. The kids rushed forward to add theirs, but Papa stopped them. You gotta earn your mark. Arlo longed to make his mark, but his fears kept getting the best of him. Papa had a new job for Arlo. A critter was eating their corn. Arlo was going to catch it. Papa helped Arlo build a trap. Arlo bravely guarded the silo, but when the trap rattled, he froze. The critter crawled and thrashed wildly inside the net. Arlo just couldn't strike it, and the critter took off into the tall grass. Arlo followed it into the wilderness. He chased it all the way to the river, where the two struggled and fell into the raging water. Arlo gasped for air as the river carried him away. When he opened his eyes, he found himself beached on a sandbar, surrounded by sheer cliffs. Mama! Arlo called again and again, but he was far from home. Suddenly, the critter appeared, offering berries to Arlo. Arlo devoured them. Arlo followed the critter and charged toward the berry bush. The critter watched Arlo eating. I miss my family, Arlo said. The critter gently patted Arlo. Arlo named him Spot, and the two new friends howled into the night. The next day, a terrible windstorm hit. Arlo was terrified. He shouted for help. Then he spotted three big dinosaurs. They were friendly T-Rexes. Arlo explained that he was looking for his home. The three dinosaurs were looking for their herd. Suddenly, Spot shivered and tapped his foot. He'd find longhorn tracks. Rustlers, said one of the T-Rexes gravely. We gotta move. The ranchers galloped across the range, and Arlo and Spot followed. They found themselves face to face with four ugly raptors. When the raptors attacked one of the T-Rexes, without thinking, Arlo head-butted the rustler of him, and the T-Rexes chased them away. Arlo joined the T-Rexes in a triumphant roar. The next morning, the T-Rexes led Arlo and Spot on their way. As they neared the base of the ridge, Arlo spotted Clotooth Mountain in the distance. There's home! Arlo threw Spot up into the air again and again. When Arlo and Spot made it to the top of the ridge, they heard a familiar howl. A human figure appeared, followed by a family. Spot cautiously approached them and they greeted him warmly. Sadly, Arlo knew what he had to do. He nudged his friend toward the family. Spot understood and hugged Arlo tight. When Arlo finally reached the farm, Mama saw him approaching. At first, she didn't recognize this strong, confident dinosaur. She ran to her son and held him close. Arlo pressed his foot into the earth and put his print up on the family silo. Arlo had earned his mark.